How's it going? So we're gonna do an update on our purple sweet potatoes. About a week and a half ago, we pulled off some shoots off of our potatoes, which naturally they throw out shoots. We put them in a glass of water. We let them set for a week. And after that week, we went ahead and planted them. It looks like they're doing good. They're doing all right. So by the time we planted those, there was more shoots. We peeled them off, put them in a glass of water, and we're going to plant those today. And we're going to pull off another round of shoots, put those in water. Now, the last time I pulled off shoots, I did a little bit of an experiment, and I pulled off some shoots that were a little shorter than normal, because usually I like to let them get, 3 inches tall, but I pulled off little tiny ones also, and figured they would be all right, but they weren't. Live and learn. This is one of the smaller shoots from the first time. You see it's barely growing. Weeks behind. In the second round of shoots, I did the same thing. So we have some that were longer shoots. You see, they're doing great. Look at that. Doing great. A vibrant shoot coming up the top. We're just going to use these empty cells. We're going to let them go in there. Sweet potatoes grow so fast, these will catch up. If they sit in their pot an extra week, it doesn't matter. Another tall one. Another long shoot, Look. It's doing great. It's got a vibrant top on it. Down in the dirt she goes. Another long shoot. Again, vibrant top. Root growth is great. This is probably the last one. Now this is a little shorter. You see one of the leaves looks a little rotten. We're going to pull that off. Some of the shoots have shriveled up and died, but still plenty of root growth. One more long one. It's doing fine. Vibrant tip. Nice root growth. Now we get into the shorter shoots. And they're not so good. But hey, that equals wisdom, right? Look at here. Nice root growth. Look at the top. Totally shriveled up and dead. Now this plant has 0 leaves, which means no chlorophyll, no sugar production for the plant. I'm not hoping for the best for that one, but we're gonna put it under the dirt and see what happens. Same with this. Look, dead leaf. Pinch it off. We do have root growth. We do have a vibrant shoot. We're gonna try see what happens with that. This one, very little root growth. You can see the tips are dying off, but it has a leaf. Can produce some, it does have some chlorophyll working for it. This one, dead tip, vibrant leaf. barely any root growth. See, these shorter ones just don't seem to be working too good, do they? This one kind of is going sideways. It's a little longer. It's got some nice root growth, you know, but it has a vibrant growing tip. That one should be all right, but we're going to have to plant it sideways. This one, shoot's drying up. It's got 2 little leaves, a couple little roots. And then this one, hardly anything. Just looks like a stem, a couple roots coming out, 1 little baby leaf. We're gonna plant all these because you learn from experience, right? So we're gonna plant these up. Our next round of potatoes. We got this one sprouting. They're not very long. We're not gonna waste our time. We already learned our lesson, right? This one, maybe. That little one, no, we're not gonna waste our time. We'll give them another week. This one, yeah, let's do that one. This one fell off, so we're gonna go ahead and do that one, but it's a good 3 inches long. This potato, nope, we're gonna let it go. This one, looking good. We're gonna take that one. And I thought I saw a really good, oh yeah, this one. This one. This is optimum. From what we learned by taking the short ones and the tall ones, that's perfect. Perfect size. That one, not so much. So I'm gonna go ahead and plant these up. I'm not gonna bore you with that. I'll pause the video and then we'll get onto our progress from our seedlings. So we got our tomatoes and our cucumbers right here. And I had these on the porch getting about 2 hours of direct sunlight per day. And the other day a cold front came in here in South Texas. So I moved these all to the greenhouse. And the greenhouse got to about 38 degrees. It wasn't freezing. But as you see from a previous video, all the cucumbers were bent over. So I brought them inside, warmed them up in the house. A lot of them perked up, but as you can see, we just lost, 30 or 40% of our seedlings. So this is what we have left. And they're like 3 or 4 inches tall. And we're going to transplant those into the next bigger size of cell. Now, when I went out and they were all bent over, I felt the tray and the dirt felt cold. So I'm thinking that the cold actually damaged these plants. And if you can see, if this will focus in, you can see it also had the same kind of damage to some of our tomato seedlings. So even though the greenhouse didn't get to freezing, the dirt was still cold enough to wipe out some of the plants. So these are tall enough to plant into the next big one. What I'm going to do is, I don't know if I can lift this up so you can see it. You can see the root growth. See that? Roots are coming up. So that's a good sign that it's time to replant. So I'm just going to take a little bamboo skewer, poke it up from the bottom, gently take it out. And here's what we got. Nice roots. We got 4 plants right there. And we're going to gently separate these. And we're going to set them into the bigger cells. There we go. Gently set them into the bigger cells. And then we're going to fit them in there to where their top leaves are just above the top of the soil. And you're going to need to do it slowly and gently so that the leaves will bend. If you do it quickly, that stem, so the stems will bend. If you do it quickly, the stems are going to snap. So we got this guy out. There's 4 in there. And they get really tight root bound. Just work it around. Just just work it loose until it comes loose on its own. Might have to work it a lot. Alright, look, see how nice it come apart? There we go. Man, it smells like cucumbers. It's funny when you work in the dirt where the cucumbers are growing, just get this fragrance of cucumbers in the air. Alright, so we got 9 right there. Alright. Well, this one looks like, oh, it's got a really weak stem. Alright, that one's gone. That's why we overseed everything. You're gonna lose something in the process. So overseed. Alright, this guy, let's take him out. Now we're gonna need to work these down. Pack that soil in a little bit. Get the roots in there. And just gently, slowly bend this guy around. Bend him around this container. Gently, slowly. You do not want to snap that stem. The leaves are right above the soil level. Let's fill it up. Gently pack those in, man. These are embryos. They're babies right now. They're toddlers. You're gonna be sweet with them. Alright, see that? The leaves are right above the soil. Even though they're tall and lanky, I do this every year. I mean, maybe it's a waste of time. I don't know. But it's one way that we can maximize the growth indoors for just the scenario that we just had, where we just got to freeze out of nowhere. So again, this is like South Texas. I was wearing shorts all last month in January, and I was totally prepared to plant all my seeds directly in the ground because we had such a mild winter. And then here we go. A lot of my cucumbers already got wiped out living in a greenhouse because out of nowhere, snap, we got freezing weather. So there you go. Right above the soil surface. So this prevents it. We're going to get to put our plants out early and not kill them. Now, I know you. If you live in the northern states, of course you're going to start all your plants indoors. But then again, you weren't wearing shorts 3 days ago, were you? So it's a different kind of environment, and we gotta work together and learn our different regions. So this is kind of what this channel is about. Mainly, this channel is about starting a food forest from scratch. And so we're gonna have some mistakes, and we're gonna learn from those mistakes. We can do it by the book and never make mistakes, and we'll gain no wisdom, because wisdom is learning from experience. So I've done this, I've lived here, I don't know, 30 years. I've been gardening, 10 or 15 years. And I've tried the gambit, When I started out, I did what everybody does. I went and bought Miracle Grow. I bought, bug spray, chemical fertilizers, everything, everything manufactured I could get my hands on to try to get my garden to grow. And over the years, I'm learning through wisdom that you just let nature do what it does. And you just, you can baby it, you can give it love, you can help it along, and it loves that. And what it doesn't love is all the chemicals and all the manipulation and all that. Now, we're going to manipulate our garden a bit, because we want it to do what we want it to do, but we're not going to manipulate, nature. So, here we go. So this is what we're doing. You see how I'm gently bending these around to where they're just above the soil level. And they're growing 100% under artificial lighting right now, right here in my dining room. The greenhouse proved to be too cold. It killed some of them. So, you gotta modify your strategy. And that's what we do. Learn from your mistakes. You gotta be able to adapt. Be able to adapt. Alright, so these are all planted right above the soil surface. I'm not going to show you all these because it'll take a while. We did lose some of our tomatoes. We're going to do the same thing with the tomatoes. When they get really tall, we're going to bend them down. Alright, cucumbers, munchers. Now, we did lose some. I planted all the seeds that I harvested last year. We lost some. I was like, man, what do I do? Do I order some more seeds? Well, got more muncher seeds for Valentine's Day. How does that work? Some progress on the other plants. We got our Ecuadorian peanuts. They're popping through. If you notice, the soil's kind of drying out. You want to let your soil dry out. Don't let it dry out to where the plants die, but let it dry out. Otherwise, the bottom gets mucky and muddy and rotten. So we got the Ecuadorian peanut. Now, these are the pole beans, the rattlesnake pole beans. Look at this. You remember we just planted these, like what, a week ago? And I want to show you the comparison here. These are the bush beans. Planted at the same time. And the bush beans are doing great, but you can see the growth here, man. These are gonna... And these are our Kalima beans. They're a French type bean. They're gonna be slender and smaller and delicate. And then here, I don't think I filmed it, but we got some patty pan squash. So we got some patty pans coming up. That's gonna be great. We got the green beans are ready to go into the next bigger container. And we're gonna do that as long as we have cold weather. Like normally, these are ready to go into the ground, but we're not gonna do that. We're gonna have to put them into the next bigger container. I almost guarantee you that these already got roots out the bottom. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. And they're getting brown and dry. So these guys are ready to go. We're gonna need to build some trellises for this. I already have the materials. I'll show you around the garden. I don't have an established garden. Like the reason I started this channel is we're building a food forest from scratch. So I have no garden. I have 2 raised beds that were already here when I moved in, and I have no garden. So we're building it all from scratch, man. I mean, it's kind of exciting. It's gonna take some years, and you know, in further videos, I'll give you links to different YouTube channels that like really inspire me. Like one guy has a food forest that he's had for 7 years. It's so productive. It's crazy. There's so many good online channels. So anyways, I would plant these out, but it's freezing, so we're gonna go to the next bigger pots. Patty pan's looking good. Peanuts are coming up. What else I got for you? Some other seeds I got for Valentine's Day were okra. We're going to try okra. Okra is tricky because if you don't harvest it at the right time, it's inedible. So you got to get it when it's young or it turns into wood. We got some yellow squash. That'll be nice with our patty pan. We got some carrots. I've never had luck growing root vegetables or lettuce, starting it in little pots. So all the lettuce and root vegetables I'm going to directly sow into the garden. And as I just said, I don't have a garden. I have a couple raised beds. So the raised beds we're going to have to use for our root vegetables. So carrots will go in a raised bed. Peanuts will go in a raised bed. Sweet potatoes will go in a raised bed. If we decide to grow some beets, they're going to go in a raised bed. Lettuce, probably in a raised bed. Because the soil here at my location in South Texas is so poor. It's so rocky. There's no way to grow root vegetables without a raised bed. So I do have a couple raised beds that were established. We're gonna makeshift a couple more for this. The tomatoes are gonna go right into the ground. I started doing permaculture layers last year, right when I moved in. You know, when I would mow or get leaves or whatever. What I did was I laid down a layer of cardboard and then started layering the different lawn clippings on there. So we did start already the permaculture, but as far as like having the whole place layered in wood chips, we're not to that point yet. Like I said, this is from scratch. And the sweetie got me some asparagus, which I know you want to start from crowns. And I've grown it before at another when we used to rent our house, I started some in the backyard. It's probably there still today because these roots can grow 20 feet deep. And once you get them established, they don't go away. But usually you want to start with roots. But we're going to start it with seed. I've already been looking into that. And we're going to do that. You got to have asparagus. Asparagus is the bomb. What else? That's all we got going on right now. So we got some seedlings established. We're gonna replant the rest of these cucumbers, and I think since we lost so many cucumbers, I'm gonna go ahead and start some more muncher seeds. I did. I usually grow 8 varieties of heirloom tomatoes, and last year 2 of the varieties didn't produce at all. So I went ahead and ordered those seeds from Baker's Seed Company. They're awesome. But they're back ordered, and I don't think we get those for a month. But the 2 varieties that we'll be adding would be Abe Lincoln and Aunt Ruby's German Green, which is a naturally green tomato. If you grow it to full maturity, it kind of turns yellowish, but it's basically just a green tomato. It's just going to stay green. It's genetics. I ordered that. I ordered some mountain corn, which is a unique variety, I think, from Montana. I could be wrong. I have to double check that. But it's got multiple colors. It looks like maize. And it's supposed to be good in dry climates, which this isn't a mountainous climate, but it's definitely a dry climate. We'll try that one. And we'll sow that